Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be reviewing a documentary film called Picture Stories, directed by Rob West. Let's have a quick look at the trailer.
I saw this magazine, I thought, this is for me, this is what it's all about, this is photography.
There really wasn't anything like it before.
It ushered in a new era of photography that hadn't really existed up until that point.
They made fantastic use of pictures.
They were probably the first ever pictures of that type taken.
The readership was enormous, and for many people, their only view of the world outside of their immediate environment was via the picture post.
Picture posts were respected by everybody, and everybody knew it.
So basically Picture Stories is a documentary by Rob West, and it details the rise and fall of the publication Picture Post, which existed from 1938 to 1957 and was established by Stefan Lorent. People have compared Picture Post with the equivalent of Life magazine. In this current age of social media and Instagramming and how everyone documents their kind of coffees and their breakfast and their everyday life, it's really interesting to see how this actually initially started in terms of documentary photography in pre and post-war Britain. The documentary itself has some really stunning pictures. Notably, there are a lot of pictures that you'd probably recognise and some you won't, but it really does capture the essence of what it was like to live in pre and post-war Britain. One of the most famous pictures in the documentary, which surprised me actually because I didn't know it was actually from Picture Post, is of a young kid playing cowboys and Indians, and he's kind of in a sewer, kind of like sticking out of it, trying to sort of like, hide essentially as an Indian. Or was it a cowboy? I can't remember. But that picture is really famous. I think it's in the National Portrait Gallery. I could be wrong, but it's a really, really famous picture, and I didn't even know it was from Picture Post. So it's good to see the kind of equivalent of what people were doing in the 40s and 50s. You'll be surprised with how this documentary is made. Actually, it's a really interesting premise in terms of understanding that to become a documentary photographer, really the idea is all around you. You should really start as a budding documentary photographer if you really wanted to kind of look outside your own window and to sort of see what's around you. It's really nice to see that. It's really nice to kind of have that message reiterated in this documentary, and I found it very inspiring in a way. If there's a criticism of the documentary, there are some sound issues with some of the contributors and interviewees that they've had in the documentary. Also, there is some editing is a little bit I would say not as flashy as such, but in a sense it's kind of made up for by the amount of content that's in the documentary, and also the contributors, how many people who are interviewed in terms of the original editors, Tom Hopkinson and Stefan Lorent, and the archive footage from there, but also the amount of photographers that are currently talking about it, and the recognition of what was a pioneering publication in the UK. And it's really fascinating in terms of this documentary, in terms of understanding the social demographic of a media publication. Essentially, the idea of competition, the rise of television also put pay to people where they consume their media. So the transition of, how people consume their media in the same way that social media is also kind of changing the environment of media today. So that's quite good to see, the comparative and the comparative aspect of that, seeing how industry and business and how money always flows up. That is apparent in this documentary, and that is that's an interesting subtext and undertone to the documentary. So yes, I do like Picture Post very much. I think besides the sound and editing issues, it's a really good documentary, and it's a really fine, interesting story told by Rob West and his band of filmmakers. It's also good for budding documentary photographers to actually have a look at. And the pictures themselves, they kind of speak for themselves in the documentary. It's really nice to see what Britain was like in the 30s, 40s and 50s. Picture Stories is released in the UK on the 24th of September theatrically and around the country, and also there will be subsequent exhibitions, one notably in Bristol, which is my hometown, and they will be throughout September into October. And I'll put extra information about the film release and also the exhibitions of the photography in the description. Thanks for watching my review on Picture Stories. Thank you for getting to the end if you have already. If you'd like to see more content on my YouTube channel, please click here. And if you'd like to subscribe, please click here. Hit that like button, and please do leave some comments. I really do enjoy reading the comments and getting back to you. Yeah, I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.